Hello guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another episode from Salvage Nation. As you can tell by the thumbnail though, we are not working on my BMW M140 Evo, which is a 118i, which I did a B58 retrofit on it. If you haven't seen that, go check it out. I've got a complete build series on that. We broke some parts on that car, so I'm waiting for some parts to come in. Today I'm taking you back in time to a previous build. I never finished it. Well, I never finished it on camera. I did finish it. It's a 2022 BMW 2 Series that I picked up. Now I told you this car was going to someone in the family, and it actually did. And the car's about to come back because, you know what? It was the deal of the century, but it was too good to be true. There was some hidden damage on the car. We're gonna be sorting out the hidden damage. But first, here's a recap on the entire build for all of you newbies to the channel. And once the car is here, I'm gonna introduce you to my little sister. It's actually going to my little sister. She's coming down with her new car. She's been driving it for about a month or two. She's over the moon. The car is actually still under warranty. It's been into BMW, it's got a full update. The car is fully working. And when you see the recap and you see how much we've paid for it, trust me, that was the deal of the century. But we've got a bit of work to do today, and then we're gonna fully finish off this build. So guys, let's go. Alright guys, so let me take you back to a few months ago where one of my family members asked me to pick her up a lovely new car. She gave me a budget of 13 grand to purchase the car, and she was going to add a little bit more to fix it, and I came up with this beauty. It's a 2022 BMW 218i, and we got it from Copart, and I'm going to be showing you a full breakdown of the cost and everything associated with repairing this car later on in this video, so stay tuned for that. So first up, the cost. I won this car dirt cheap. Copart wanted 16k. They made me sweat, but have a look at this. With a little bit of waiting, a little bit of patience, they gave me the car for a grand total of 10,800 plus fees. Now at this point in the build, I was over the moon. I got stuck in and went down and I purchased a complete suspension corner with all the components for that front driver side suspension. I went ahead and I removed all the broken bits and replaced them with the parts that I just purchased. And with that done, the car was almost ready to drive. Now take a look at this suspension strut. It was completely twisted, and also the drive shaft was busted. Like I said, all of those parts got replaced, and with that we had drive. I fitted it with a temporary alloy, and we were able to take the car for a first drive. So in the next episode, we moved on to the beginning phase of the bodywork. Now the car had a massive gash right down the entire side. The front bumper had some damage. I was able to straighten all of that damage out, and I managed to get the car bodyworked and into primer, and that brings us up to today. Wagwan! Why are you covering your face? Why are you hiding? Hello?
Please, hello.
So guys, it's current day. This is my little sister, and she's a little bit camera shy, so forgive her. Behind the scenes, I went ahead and I got this car bodyworked, sprayed. Everything was looking great. The car is a daily driver for my little sister. She loves it. Have a look at the side right now. This is where all the damage was, but it's all gone. There was no airbag damage. The interior is clean. The car is literally a brand spanking new car. But she's feeling a bit,
Stop. Can you please, can you let me?
She doesn't want to be on camera, but anyway, if you remember, I picked this car up. A lot of you guys, actually someone got in the comments and said, oh, it looks so bad because it's not M Sport. Shut up, man. We paid what, 13 grand for this car? 2022, 3,000 miles on the clock. It just needs a bit of a clean. But anyway, let's get the car inside and get to work. There's something I need to show you. So guys, I don't know if you can hear that. Have a listen. Every time you turn, my sister was complaining that she was hearing a knocking. And we came back, we had a look, and I found something crazy. So let's get the car up and I'll show you what I found. So with the skid panel removed, if you look, I don't know if you can see that, I'm trying to shine the light right there. Can you see that crack inside? Yeah, there you go. That is the steering rack. So believe it or not, in the accident, the steering rack completely cracked, and that's why when you turn the wheel or go over any hump, you're hearing a knock, which is major. So, before we can officially sign off this build, I need to drop the subframe in a box in the back. I've got a replacement part. I need to replace that steering rack, get the car back out, and then we can wash it up, take it outside, and officially hand it over to my little sister. Let go. So guys, the plan is I need to drop the subframe. To do that, I need to remove all the bottom splash guards to gain access to certain nuts and bolts. Here's one of those big old bolts right there. That actually secures the steering rack to the subframe. With that out of the way, I continue to remove the bolts that holds the subframe onto the chassis of the car. And as you can see, I've got a tranny jack to support the subframe once it comes down. Now there's a ton of bolts that holds the subframe onto the chassis, but I'm not going to be removing the subframe all together. I'm just dropping it a little bit like so I can gain access to that steering rack. Next, I had to disconnect all the electrical cables for the steering rack, and here I am removing the grounding wire. Alright guys, as you saw, we dropped the lower subframe so I can get some space. I just need to take these track rod ends off, but check this out. If I get this tool, the more I dig apart, the worse it becomes. Look, can you hear that? That's meant to be solid, and I'll show you why. If I come into the middle, you can see the damage is a lot worse once you get to the brunt of it. Look at that. That is crazy. But luckily, we found it, and I'm gonna hopefully sort it all out now. You see, I've got a bit of support underneath the engine. I've got the lower subframe down, like I said, and that is giving me access to the retaining bolts for that steering rack to release the joint, and this should be able to be pulled out either this way or that way. I think on the passenger side I've got more space, should be able to pull it out. And here's the replacement part. I just need to make sure everything lines up, and yeah, this is meant to be a solid piece. So that's the replacement part, get that back on the car, and then yeah, this car should be able to be wrapped up pretty quickly. So guys, on all cars, the steering rack always goes through the bulkhead and it connects to a little joint at the bottom of the steering column. Once I removed that, it was time to remove the broken steering rack. Now you can see it's all a bit tight down there, but with a little bit of wiggling, pushing and pulling, over a bit of time, I was able to get the steering rack out of there, and this is the way it looked. Alright guys, so that was a task and a half. A lot of these jobs are better off if you've got a spare person, but I don't at the moment, so got to do it myself. But as you can see, guys, you have to pay attention. Here's even more damage that I'm seeing because I had to take this ring off. If you imagine, that was covered like so. Now that I've taken that off, you can see it snapped right there, and this is the bulk of it. This middle section is meant to be nice and closed like that, but as you can see, it shouldn't be like that. That is really bad. So out with this old one. The replacement one over there is not damaged. All I need to do is remove these two ends. I was going to remove them on the car, but then I realized, you know what, I got to work smarter, work faster, more efficient. So I've just taken it off at the hubs either side right there, and then now that it's on the floor, I can go ahead and remove this big old nut head right there and on this side as well, and attach it up. What I want to do is make sure that I've got the settings. So I've got the steering wheel set dead straight, and that would have set this to the center position. So I just need to make sure that that is set to the same center position before continuing. So I'll do that and then get that on the car. So here I'm removing the inner and outer track rod arms on both sides, and then I'm going to do a quick measurement with my finger just to make sure. It doesn't need to be 100% accurate, but I want to try to get it back into a similar position as the old one when I removed it. This is to protect all the elements of the steering system and to make sure that I don't break any of the components. Once I was happy with the adjustment, it's just a matter of putting the steering rack back into position and redoing all the nuts and bolts that I took out earlier. Here's the last nut being torqued down, and quick test, it was all working, but I decided to play a little trick on my sister. It is wrong. It's incorrect. No capiche. So we have to send that one back. I'm joking, man. I'm joking.
Stop it! Oh my god, listen, I'm too anxious for this joking every minute, man.
And you're on camera as well, by the way. I finished it, it's done.
Yay!
So guys, prank's over. Everything is all done. The car is back on 4 wheels. My sister, take it away. Why are you scared? Guys, you see how rude she is? She doesn't want to be on camera. What can I say? And guys, she's not like us.
No, not at all.
Nah. Guys, it's my little sister. She don't want to be on the camera. What can I do? Don't worry. It's okay. Keep going. Okay, stop. Full lock to the left. No, stop. Just stop and full lock. Next way. Can you still hear the knock? Do it rough. Hard. That's it. Is there any lights?
Yeah, the
Yes.
stabilization thing was on.
Yes. So that's what I thought. All right, guys. So it's all working, but I need to do some potential coding, maybe. So you need to get out, and I need to get in. So guys, as expected, with these new cars, anytime you change any hardware, you have to code, because all the car's data is going to be registered within all of these modules. All these cars are just they're very computerized. So if I start it all up, have a look. All computerized, everything is all working, but it's got the little light there. And I've done the kind of basic reset where you turn it full lock left, full lock right, and it's still on there. So I just want to see what the diagnostic is saying. I'll just do some basic coding, set it back to the stock cars format, basic code, FA code, if you know what I mean. If you know about coding, you know what I'm talking about. I'll just FA code that new steering rack, and hopefully it's all good. So let me get into the car and I'll catch up with you once I'm coding. Alright guys, so just to start off with, as I always do when you've got lights on, I always like to do a health check just to make sure I know exactly what's going on. It may or may not need coding. It might just be because I unplugged everything. There we go. The control unit is not encoded. Coding data does not match the vehicle. Status invalid for vehicle configuration. So the electronic power steering, EPS, control unit, data status is invalid for the vehicle configuration. So straight away, before I delete anything, I'll go to coding. This is just to do just straight FA coding. FA coding is where it's going to copy the configuration details from the car's, the main computer of the car, and it's going to assign the necessary features into that EPS. So it's literally dead easy. I'm using the King Boland K8. I've spoken about this quite a lot, but this can do coding, and I want to code the EPS. Encoding takes a long time. Do you want to continue? Yes, it doesn't take a long time. That's the latest one. So coding 1. And like I said, this is coding the stock data from the car to that replacement EPS.
Eventually.
So guys, after doing all the coding on the EPS unit, I'm happy to say this build is officially done and I can hand it over to my sister. Bye. So guys, officially, the car's done. She's enjoying. What more can I say? Let's break it down. I'll tell you exactly how much that cost. So as you know guys, I won the car for £10,400. I then upped it to 10,800. They wanted 16. I waited, I won it. I got the car delivered for £200 on top of the cost price, which was an absolute steal. This car's only covered 2,600 miles. It's practically a new car. Next up, it was the new suspension corner that cost 700 quid. And as you know, I do the majority of the work on my own, so I make a lot of savings there. After that, it was bodywork and spraying, and I paid £600. In addition, I had to buy one alloy wheel for 150 quid, one fog light grill for 40 quid, a windscreen washer bottle for 60 quid, and finally a steering rack for £145. That gives us a grand total of £15,641 for this car to be back on the road. To put that into perspective, here is the BMW website with a similar car, similar mileage, similar spec, and that's going for 35k. And I've done a search. These are all used cars, and on average I'm seeing them for 32 to 35,000 pounds. If you compare 35k to the 15k that I spent, I think that's an absolute result. The car is actually still under warranty, is recorded as a category in, and my little sister was able to get a cracking car for less than half the price. And she's happy, I'm happy, but you let me know what you think in the comments below. Alright, so guys, there you have it. It's the end of another build. We've made that 2022 BMW come from a wreck to something special, and my little sister has got a deal and a half. You've seen the entire process, and as you can see, I'm back in this beast. We've done a lot of work off camera, and in the next episode I've got something amazing to show you on this, so stay tuned for all of that. And like I always say, keep it moving, and I'll see you in the next one. Let's go. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed that, why don't you check out one of my previous videos on the left? There's plenty in the playlist. And if you want to know more about the Salvage game, why don't you become a member of Salvage Nation, and I'll be there to guide you along the way. And don't forget, you can follow me on Facebook, TikTok and Instagram if you want to get an inside scoop before YouTube.